Hello everyone. How are you all? Is my screen visible? And am I audible? Okay. So let's begin. Jai Gurudev. So let's begin. I am Dr. Swati Agarwal. I am an Ayurveda physician with over 12 years of experience helping people reclaim their health through Ayurveda wisdom. And today I will be taking you all through this masterclass on Ayurveda for sustainable weight management. So, before we begin, some food for thought. What if I told you that long and truly lasting weight loss was never about restriction or deprivation and had everything to do with nourishment? Now, hold on to that thought and we'll begin. And a quick check in with all of you first. I'm going to just enumerate some symptoms and see if you relate to all of these, if you're feeling or any of these. If you're someone who's doing everything right, the gym, the diet, etc., counting your steps, even CGMs, but the weight will not budge. Or if you're someone who's, has chronic gut issues like bloating, acidity, cravings, etc., someone with poor sleep, low energy, brain fog, or even poor immunity, this session is for you. And if you're someone who has decent health, just stay with me till the end. You might just take away even more tips to how to enhance your vitality. Okay. So, when we're talking about a health or even weight loss for that matter, the real question is that I'm doing everything healthy, but why is it not working? Is it really my effort or is it the approach? Okay. And we are going to be, working around this main question that we have around our health. Okay. So before we start talking about weight as a health issue, let's first understand what Ayurveda says about health, about wellness, etc. So Ayurveda offers a very different paradigm. It is amazing that 5,000 years back our Ayurveda acharyas actually introduced to the humankind the concept of inclusivity. So Ayurveda does not believe in one size fits all approach. आयुर्वेदा कहता है कि हर एक इंडिविजुअल डिफरेंट है, उसका जो जेनेटिक मेकअप है वो डिफरेंट है, उसकी वजह से उसका जो भी प्रोसेसेस है बॉडी में साइकोलॉजिकल या फिजिकल वो भी डिफरेंट है. जी ये सुदर्शन क्रिया का सेशन नहीं है. दिस इज अ सेशन फॉर जनरल अवेयरनेस ऑन आयुर्वेदा and weight management. Okay, so how does Ayurveda consider every individual different is because Ayurveda offers this unique concept of Prakriti. What is Prakriti? Prakriti is our constitution, our blueprint, something that we inherit from our parents and something that defines us, how we are emotionally, physically and mentally. Prakriti हमारा एक दोषा का एक कॉम्बिनेशन होता है जो बाय बर्थ हमारे को हम अपने पेरेंट्स से लेते हैं, जो पूरी लाइफ अनचेंज रहता है और उस प्रकृति की बेसिस पे हमारी जो इमोशनल, फिजिकल और मेंटल मेकअप डिसाइड होती है. ओके, सो व्हाई डू वी अंडरस्टैंड प्रकृति हियर इज बिकॉज इसकी टू कॉजेज हैं, टू रीजंस हैं. फर्स्ट इज that when we understand the concept of Prakriti, we understand nature has designed all of us to be in diverse body types. Okay, so what happens is we start to understand our uniqueness and stop fitting ourselves in universal body standards. That acceptance of how we are the way we are or why we are the way we are comes, and with that acceptance we are able to move to solutions in a more healthier state of mind. Okay, and the second reason why we understand Prakriti is because according to our Prakriti we respond to nutrition, training and stress levels or absolutely anything in our daily lives. Okay, so I will explain that with an example. Now suppose you're someone who's kapha dominant person and somebody told you that just start having chia pudding or overnight oats every day for breakfast, and you will start to see some change. Okay, you did that for months, and there was not much change that happened, in your weight. Instead, you started feeling more bloated, more water retention. Now, what that happened was because you're already kapha dominant, you're someone who already had that heavy quality in the body, and taking a heavy cold breakfast, fed to that quality. Or, for example, a pitta dominant person, a person who's fire dominant, was told to take apple cider vinegar with water every day. Okay. And initially, it might have shown some positive symptoms, but eventually, you landed up feeling more acidic, more acidity, or some gut issues. Why? Because that heat in the apple cider vinegar was increasing heat in the body. Okay. So now let's just do a quick check-in and understand how many vatas, pittas, or kappas are here. It is just one of the factors to decide what prakriti you are dominant with, but it just helps you get to understand yourself better. So if you're someone who's vata dominant, you will have a leaner framework. You have a quick metabolism. Whatever you eat gets digested fast. अगर आप वाता प्रधान हैं, तो आप थोड़े से लीन रहते हैं और आपका डाइजेशन बहुत फास्ट रहता है, तो आप फटाफट से उसको पचा लेते हैं, और इनफैक्ट आपकी टेंडेंसी रहती है टू लूज वेट इफ यू हैपन टू fall ill or something. If you're pitta dominant person, you have a moderate build, you have a robust digestion, you have a good digestive system, and you tend to gain weight, but you can also lose it with easily if you follow some disciplined diet and workouts. Okay. अगर आप पित्ता डोमिनेंट है तो आपका डाइजेशन काफी फास्ट होता है, आपका जो बॉडी स्ट्रक्चर है वो मध्यम रहता है, बीच में रहता है, आप वेट गेन कर लेते हैं पर लूज करना भी आसान रहता है आपके लिए. एंड इफ यू कवर डोमिनेंट पर्सन, you have a heavier build and your metabolism is slow naturally. Okay, so whatever you eat takes time to digest. Also, you have a tendency to gain weight easily, and just in case अगर वो weight बढ़ जाता है तो उसको lose करना थोड़ा सा struggle हो जाता है आपके लिए. So you can type it in the chat box. Which one do you feel you more relate to? Are you vata dominant or pitta dominant or kapha dominant? So we understood this, our uniqueness, and once we are in that state where we accept our bodies, we can move towards a solution better. Before we go ahead, I would just like to briefly tell you, let me finish this whole session, and then I have a lot of time and I can answer all of your queries that time. Okay. So in this session, we will be majorly talking about ahara and nidra. And why is that? Okay, it is because again 5,000 years back, an ancient text of Ayurveda known as Charaka Samhita offered this concept, which is swapna ahara samuttecha stolya karshya visheshataha. If you want to move towards a heavier weight, or if you want to lose weight, there are two factors that play the key role, and those are swapna, that is our sleep, and nidra, that is our ahara, that is our nutrition. So we will be focusing on nutrition and also sleep or dinacharya as a whole in this session. Ayurveda believes, okay, you are not what you eat, you are what you digest. We are living in these times where there is a state of being overfed and undernourished. Why? Because we have easy accessibility to food. Everything is available, and with the advent of apps, we are even more accessible to probably a lot of calorie-rich food. But are we really feeling healthy within ourselves? No. Why? Because there is a major lack of nutrition. And why is that? Because in general, our guts are compromised. हमारी जो digestion है वो किसी न किसी फैक्टर से इतनी डिस्टर्ब हो चुकी है कि चाहे हम बेस्ट खाना खा रहे हैं या हम अनहेल्दी खाना खा रहे हैं, वो हमारी बॉडी में अच्छे से एसिमिलेट नहीं हो रहा है. सो वी आर नॉट रियली फीलिंग नरिश्ड. An example of this is that most of us are chronically deficient. In spite of taking supplements, in spite of doing everything right, we keep on moving towards that state of deficiencies every few months. Yeah. And why is that? So इस पूरे प्रोसेस को अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए लेट्स सी व्हाट आयुर्वेदा सेज, इवन इन टर्म्स ऑफ वेट और इन जनरल होता क्या है बॉडी में. वी ऑल वांट टू आंसर look for answers to these three questions. First is, see, I'm doing everything right, I lose weight, but then again I come back, I bounce back to that original weight. Why is it? Or second question is that I'm doing everything right and I've lost weight, वो तो सब सही हो गया, but I actually went and landed up, with a lot of other issues, like for example, gut issues or joint pains or sleep issues. Okay. And the third question is that, it is stuck. The weight is stuck. In spite of whatever I do, it is stuck. My hormone levels are not getting better. My probably cycles are not getting better, etc. and so on. तो हम ये रूट समझेंगे because that actually helps us, to come out of that loop. तो आयुर्वेदा का एक पूरा एक पैथोलॉजी है, एक एक लूप में ये चलता है कि क्यों वेट गेन होता है, उससे क्या होता है, उसकी वजह से क्यों हम इस फेज में स्टक है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू आवर वेट. So what happens is poor diet lifestyle for years, okay, and unmanaged stress. What that leads to? इससे जो हमारी अग्नि है, जो हमारा डाइजेशन है, मेटाबॉलिज्म है, वो वीक होना शुरू हो जाता है. एंड इट टेक्स years and years for our digestion to get compromised. This leads to ama. अब ama क्या है? When a food in our gut is kept as it is and it is not getting digested because the metabolism is not good. So the food sits in your gut, it starts to ferment, it produces this toxic metabolic waste which is called as ama. Now, ama is the sticky substance, in modern we call this like somewhere like, the effects of inflammation, chronic inflammation. So this ama goes and clogs itself into various channels. Body में जाके हर जगह ये block कर देता है हमारे channels. This leads to excessive fat accumulation, the visceral fat accumulation. तो अब क्या हो रहा है कि सारे channels में ama जाके block हो जा रहा है और nutrition पहुंच नहीं रहा है हमारे खाने का. तो वहां पे धातुस का कुछ गड़बड़ होना शुरू हो जाता है. In this, by dhatus, we mean fat or medas. Okay. So when there is excessive accumulation of fat, what it does is, हमारी जो gut होता है उसमें अग्नि भी होती है और थोड़ी सी वायु भी होती है, which we call as vata. Now vata is what? Vata is something. It is like air, in the body. It basically fans the agni. जैसे कि हम campfire light करते हैं और उसको हम थोड़ा सा fan करते हैं ताकि fire lit हो. The same way, our body has this air element which actually fans that fire element. But because there is so much fat accumulation happening in the gut, that air gets trapped, okay? And it starts to fan that fire in more than normal amounts. So what it leads to is this symptom of excessive hunger or insatiable appetite. And we all understand, right? If we have some weight issues, we understand that we are chronically hungry, we don't feel satiated, and then we tend to eat more. And when we eat more, what happens? We find ourselves in this self-perpetuating loop. Okay, we are eating more, our agni is weak, anyway it is not getting digested, the food, and now there is excess of food that the agni has to handle, and there is more ama, more accumulation of fat, and this entire thing we do, and then we don't know how to come out of that loop. Yeah, is everyone here with me? Okay. सो हमें सोल्यूशन के लिए क्या करना है? इस लूप में से बाहर निकलना है. और उसके लिए हमें क्या करना है? वी हैव टू प्रोटेक्ट आवर अग्नि एंड रिलीज आमा. So now we understand, right? Ayurveda weight management is not about calories in versus calories out. Okay, we have to fix the root. We have to correct the agni. So what are we going to do? We are going to revive our agni and release ama, and also stop any of the factors that may be feeding into this poor agni and ama formation. For example, sleep, lack of movement, stress, okay? And also take support of Ayurvedic medicine, personalized diet plans, herbs, etc. Because these really help to break out from that loop. तो अब हम बात करते हैं solutions के बारे में. How to improve our agni? Let's start. उसमें सबसे पहला और सबसे important जो फैक्टर आ जाता है वो है मात्रा वताहारा. Okay, eating in the right quantity. Now we understand that Ayurveda was never about numbers. So what acharyas did, they gave us few symptoms to decide if the portion that we are eating is right for us or not. And what are those symptoms? See, suppose if you had like a balanced proportionate meal, you should feel light and satiated after eating. Your breathing should be easy. You should not feel that I'm not able to breathe. Oh, I've eaten so much. Your energy levels will be optimal and you'll have regular bowel movements. So if you're someone who has chronic constipation, please look into the portion size. You may be consuming more than your body requires. Okay? अगर हम करेक्ट पोर्शन साइज में खाना खाते हैं तो हमको खाना खाने के बाद हल्का महसूस होता है, हम आसानी से सांस ले सकते हैं, चल फिर सकते हैं, एनर्जी लेवल्स ड्रॉप नहीं होते हैं और हमारा पेट अच्छे से साफ होता है. Okay, so this is very essential. Ayurveda says that you do everything right, but if you're overeating, that alone is sufficient to cause ama build-up in body. Okay. उसी के साथ एक दूसरा फैक्टर लिंक हो जाता है, वो है स्नैकिंग, टेकिंग फ्रीक्वेंट मील्स. अगर आप स्नैक्स नहीं ले रहे और अगर आप फ्रीक्वेंट मील्स भी ले रहे, लाइक से फॉर एग्जांपल every 2 hours you're taking something without making sure that your previous meal is getting digested, that also leads to ama build-up. So Ayurveda says, do not look at the clock. Just understand and listen to your gut. If it says it's hungry, then feed the gut. Okay. अब उसके भी कुछ signs दे दिए गए हैं हमें. Okay, Acharyas have given us few signs to make sure that we're eating only when we're hungry. What are those signs? First is clear burps. You're not smelling of any previous food that you consumed because you are hydrating yourself in between your meals, so your burps will be clear. You will not have post-meal slump. If you did have a little bit of tiredness after eating a meal, that gets cleared out. You get your energy levels back. Okay, and you experience true, genuine hunger. Yeah, this is very important. We ignore this. We just say, okay, it's lunchtime now, it's dinner time now, it's snacks time now. Let's go out to, just grab a bite. We really don't understand or listen to our bodies. So that is very essential. हमें हमेशा अपनी बॉडी को सुनना चाहिए. अगर खाना खाने के बाद अगर आपके जो बर्ब्स हैं वो क्लियर हैं, अगर आप पीछे जो खाना खाया उसका कुछ स्मेल या टेस्ट नहीं आ रहा है, इसका मतलब आपका खाना अच्छे से पच चुका है और आप दूसरे मील के लिए रेडी हो चुके हैं. तो हमें मील स्टैक नहीं करने हैं, स्पेस आउट करने हैं. Now, we say, okay, doctor, we are done. We understood, the portion and the frequency of the meals has to be appropriate. Now, what do we eat to lose weight? Okay. So again, Acharyas gave this, small little, ritual that you have to follow. And it says, Guru Cha Apatarpana meal plan. Now, what is Guru Apatarpana? Let's understand. It's really beautiful. We understood, right, in that loop that a person who is obese has a strong appetite. Yeah. And that is the reason that the person is gaining weight, because the person is constantly eating and that hunger is not in his control. So Ayurveda says that add something which is heavy to digest or which keeps you full for long. Okay, understood. But Ayurveda also says that it has to be apatarpana or something which is scraping or which reduces the fat. Okay. Now Guru is ice cream also. Guru is desserts also. Guru is bakery food also, breads and a lot of chapatis, etc. Whatever, everything is Guru. But are those really fat reducing or scraping in nature? No, right? So we have to take something which keeps us long, but also something which is fat reducing. वो क्या है? सबसे पहला जाता है उसमें a big portion of vegetables. Okay. Usually we flip it. We take 50% of carbs, which are heavy but fat increasing, and we just take not even 25%. We take barely 15-20% of veggies and just a bowl of that. So we have to just flip our plate. A big decent amount of vegetables, 25% of your whole carbs. In whole carbs, of course, millets, barley, etc. are very good options. But even if you want to take wheat and rice and you opt for indigenous varieties like Sonamuti or Khapri wheat, Emmer wheat, or if you take native rice varieties which are low in glycemic index, there are many. For example, Kala Namak rice has the lowest glycemic index. If you opt for these varieties, it is going to solve the same purpose. And then 25% of proteins which are scraping. Okay. By scraping proteins in Ayurveda, we mean majority of our lentils that we are used to consuming, in our traditional cooking. So include all of those lentils. Along with spices, because these are digestive, carminative, they also help to burn fat and healthy fat in terms of ghee. Now, ghee is something which is rich in butyric acid. It heals your gut and it increases Agni. Overall, it is a very healthy option to include just a little bit with your meals. Okay, so that is how you build your plate to lose weight. and how, like if you want to go a step further and focus more on nutrition, we all talk about nutrient dense. How do we make our Guru Chapa Tarpana plate even more nutrient dense? You build your plate with intention. And how do you do that? You start eating local foods. Now, how many of you, go out to the market and you see some vegetables and fruits, you see them every time, but you've never tasted, never even heard the name of it. Yeah. So next time when you go out to shop groceries, try to pick at least one or two new vegetables every week and include it in your diet. Now, science actually proves this. There is the latest research which says that you should have at least 30 odd varieties of foods, like fruits and vegetables and your grains, to build a diverse flora. Okay, so you can start doing that and you'll see that makes a lot of difference. And of course, you should eat seasonally and locally available foods. Another thing that is usually ignored and is actually especially in India, is a superpower in terms of food is the sides. Okay, these achars and chutneys, poris, etc. These are loaded with nutrients. Okay, and they also have functional benefits. Okay, they help to balance your agni. They are digestive, carminative, and also they are rich in probiotics, prebiotics. So include them. Do not underestimate the power of sides in terms of the health benefits. Okay. Now, for example, mukwas. Traditionally, there was always this thing to end a meal with some saumph or some mukwas. Now, why is that? Ayurveda says that you should not end a meal with dessert, but something that is kashaya rasa, something which is a little bitter, a little kashaya, something that gives that dry sort of a mouth. Like for example, if you chew nutmeg or raw banana. Okay. Why? Because at the end of the meal, kapha is high, that heavy quality increases. That is why you feel all drowsy after a meal. So if you have something which is which cuts that heaviness, which is something like mukwas, it helps to cut that post-meal spike, sugar spike. Okay. Today we are all about getting that flat line or our CGMs, etc. So just this one small tweak if you do in your meals is going to bring tremendous changes in terms of your overall health. Okay. And then another concept. So I'm not sure if many of you are aware of this concept of Shadrasas or 6 tastes that Ayurveda says. So by 6 tastes, Ayurveda means sweet, sour, salty, pungent, bitter, and astringent. That is, pungent is your spicy, bitter, kadva, and astringent is kashaya rasa. So according to Ayurveda, this is nutrition on your plate. And it says that, your whole meal should be balanced around it. And by sweet, it doesn't only mean like sugar or sugary products. Sweet also includes all of your lentils, maximum. Even moong dal is called madhura because it has a sweet taste. All your carbs come into that category. Okay. So if you build your plate around it, it basically balances, or not only balances your meals, you also feel satiated. This is very important. You feel satiated after eating a meal. And when you do that, you will have less cravings. And when you have less cravings, of course, you will not move towards eating a lot of calories. Okay. So start doing that. Now I'll tell you a very interesting, we were talking about power of sides. If you pick up any chutney for that matter, you will understand that it has all 6 tastes. Like for example, a mint chutney, उसमें खट्टा भी है, उसमें नमक भी है, उसमें थोड़ा सा मीठा भी डालते हैं to balance. वो bitter भी होता है क्योंकि हम coriander डाल रहे हैं उसमें, तीखा भी डालते हैं उसमें, कषाय भी होता है. It is so scientific. Yeah. So all of these micro things that you start doing, in your daily lives are going to create such an amazing transformation when it comes to your health. So now that we're talking about weight loss, how are we not talking about proteins, right? And I'm sure everybody would want to know what does Ayurveda say about proteins. So we already discussed that it is essential. We need that in our Guru Chapa Tarpana plate because it has that fat reducing action. But is it that we should be sticking to that specific quantity that is mentioned, that, certain gram of protein per kg thing? No. Why? Because we understood, right, the concept of Prakriti and how we respond to nutrition differently. Same way we respond to the, sources of protein and how we are able to digest that protein well in our bodies. Okay, if you have some gut issues, like bloating, gas, constipation, or acidity, you really have to look into your portion control in terms of protein as well. Okay, because all the protein sources, whatever it is, has some effect on Agni and Vata, because it is heavy to digest, and it also increases Vata because it is dry. Okay, so what you can do is, if you think that you have some gut issues, first get that corrected. Take some Ayurvedic medicines, take some Panchakarmas, get your gut fixed. Okay, and then take proteins according to your Prakriti. Now, for example, a Kapha Prakriti can do well with lentils as protein sources, and may not do so well with dairy source of proteins like paneer or curd, etc., because it is high in Kapha, and vice versa for Pitta. Okay, so all those nuances can be only covered if you get in touch with an Ayurveda doctor and understand what really your body will accept most in the most gentle way. Okay, and lastly, taking more protein equals to more muscle mass? Absolutely not. Because in Ayurveda, the sequence of nutrition takes a different road. It doesn't like, if you take protein, it goes and nourishes the protein. If you take carb, it goes and nourishes, it just provides glucose. It's not like that in Ayurveda. Ayurveda says whatever food you have, you take it, it gets digested into this nutrient essence, which travels through the body and starts nourishing your dhatus, which are seven dhatus, from one to another. Okay, so it nourishes in sequence. Okay, first your plasma gets nourished. From that plasma, your blood gets nourished. From your blood, that muscle gets built. From that muscle, that fat, and so on to reproductive tissues. And if there is some sort of an imbalance at the first dhatu or the first level of tissue, all the subsequent dhatus will get affected. Either they'll increase or they'll decrease. Okay, so if you have a bad nutrient essence, of course, we understood with poor diet and lifestyle leading to low Agni. If your Rasadhatu is getting affected, so will your Raktadhatu. So you'll see, if you're obese, you also will have deficiencies around your hemoglobin. You may also feel that your muscle mass is lacking. How much ever protein you're taking, you're not able to do that. If you are, have overweight issues, you will have some issues with your, reproductive health also. So it is all interlinked. We cannot compartmentalize our body. Okay. So the last bit in that loop was how to balance Vata. We understand, right? With that high Vata increases your Agni. So we really need to make sure that that Vata is in check. Now, Vata is air element in the body. It is naturally dry and it is naturally moving. Okay. So what we need to do to balance it is to ground it and nourish it. That dryness has to get reduced. Okay. And how do we do that? We make sure that we eat warm, freshly cooked meals, use digestive spices, and add good fats. Okay. अब ये तीनों चीजें जब हम करते हैं, हम गरम खाना खाते हैं, हम अच्छे से स्पाइसेस, जिंजर, हींग, जीरा ये सब यूज करते हैं और थोड़ा बहुत फैट डालते हैं बॉडी में, सॉरी मील्स में, तो उससे हमारा जो वाता है बैलेंस होता है. अब इसका एक एग्जांपल बताती हूँ. सपोज यू आर ऑन अ वेट लॉस जर्नी and you constantly every day take big bowls of salads which are raw, okay, which barely have oil, or it's not cooked well, or it has a less amount of spices, etc. That is a very vata increasing meal. Initially it might give you some benefit, but over a period of time you will start feeling some gut imbalances by constantly being on salads. Okay, so this is one example that increases vata. What you can do instead, that same thing, all of the same veggies, you can cook or steam or saute and have with lots of spices. So that becomes easier on the gut, balances vata, and making sure that it is still in low in calories. And what increases vata also, you have to stop, right? So avoid dry and frequent snacking, all these high sugar, high sodium snacks, fried foods, air fried for that matter, also has a similar effect. And cold dehydrated frozen foods. Many of us are in a habit of freezing and then taking foods. Wherever possible, try to cut that down. And I want to take like a brief moment and explain a little bit about Panchakarma here, because as we discussed, we will understand that Panchakarma actually is a very intelligent therapy, a very intelligent mode of treatment that Ayurveda offers. So in Panchakarma, the usual protocol is where initial few days we correct your Agni, then we put you on medicines and treatments which release that ama from the gut and from your deep cellular level. This deep cellular level cleansing happening. Body is getting free of ama, and lastly, in the last days, we put you on a diet and medicines which slowly bring that Agni, rekindles that Agni and balances all of your doshas, and you're ready now. The body is cleansed and ready for a good, healthy diet and lifestyle which you can follow. Okay. So this entire thing, what it is doing is, it is clearing ama, it is making sure Agni is coming back to its normal state. It is flushing out all the toxins, excess fat. It's restoring vata and gut health. And then in the end, your body is all cleansed and open for that, nutrition to actually reach to your tissues so that it gets nourished in a healthier way. Okay. So, of course, you can take your diet, and of course, you can take supplements and herbal medicines. But if you do Panchakarma and then you do it, the effect is multiplied in X number of times. So this was all about nutrition. Now let's just run through what simple things that we can do around Dinacharya and how to make our lifestyle better if you're looking at weight loss or in general overall health. Okay. So the first thing is eating with the sun. It is very important that we understand that our body also is a part of the macrocosm and is responding to the daily rhythms. तो बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हम अपनी बॉडी को अलाइन करें सन की रिदम के साथ. जब हम सुबह उठते हैं तो बॉडी में कफा नेचुरली डोमिनेंट होता है, हमारी बॉडी हैवी होती है और अग्नि थोड़ी सी अभी it's just trying to get awake. So it is good that you eat something light, warm and savory for breakfast instead of cold and sweet and heavy breakfast options. For example, yogurt, frozen yogurts and smoothie bowls and overnight oats, chia puddings, etc. They are healthy. They may be healthy. Cannot say are, but is it a good breakfast option? No, because in the morning we need something that cuts the kapha down, not increase it. Because when we are looking at weight loss, we are also looking with dealing issues because of high kapha. Okay, so eat according to that. When it comes to noon time, let that be your largest meal of the day, because that is the time where your Agni is high. So whatever components that you want to have or even indulge sometimes, make it for lunch. Okay. दोपहर में हमारी अग्नि पीक पे होती है और इस टाइम पे हमारा मील अच्छा बैलेंस हो सकता है. कभी कुछ अच्छा खाने का मन करे तो लंच में लीजिए डिनर के बजाय. And evening is where our vata starts to rise. And when vata is high in the body's digestion starts to slow down. Okay, so it is good that we eat something which is light, warm, semi-liquid, and have an early dinner so that our body gets enough time to digest our meals. So soups, khichdi, dalia, etc. are good dinner options instead of eating heavy salads or very high protein meals. It is good to have something which is light on the gut. तो इवनिंग में शाम के टाइम पे वाता बढ़ जाता है बॉडी में, तो इस टाइम पे थोड़ा सा लाइट और गर्म खाना खाइए, ग्राउंडिंग खाना खाइए, जैसे कि सूप, दलिया, खिचड़ी एक्सेट्रा. Now movement, of course, we all know that it is essential. If you want to lose weight, we must be moving around, and Ayurveda again has some set of rules around it. First is the time. Okay, so as we are aligning our meals, it is also good that we align our body, exercises, workouts according to the day. So 6 to 10 a.m. when kapha is high in the body is the best time to do your high intensity workouts, because it will not only fasten your fat loss but also spark your Agni, which we want when we are looking at weight loss. Instead, it is good if you avoid high intensity workouts in the evening. Why? Because शाम के टाइम पे वाता बढ़ता है और बहुत ज्यादा इंटेंसिव एक्सरसाइज करने से वाता और बढ़ जाता है, जिसकी वजह से हमारी स्लीप खराब हो जाती है. So high intensity workouts in evening spike cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which ruins sleep and then eventually lead to our weight increasing mechanism. And then another thing that you must include is taking short walks after your meals. and the latest research proves that it helps to prevent glucose spikes. So after every meal, just a 15-20 minute walk around the house is good instead of lying down. खाने के 20 मिनट के अंदर 15-20 मिनट के लिए आप थोड़ा सा वॉक करेंगे तो उससे आपका खाना भी अच्छे से पचता है, पोस्ट मील शुगर भी स्पाइक नहीं होती है और ये भी वेट लॉस करने में हेल्प करता है. And last, it is very important. Ayurveda says that Vyayama should be Ardha Shakti. Ardha Shakti means half your capacity. So here, even when we're looking at weight loss, we understand that we have to cater that the effect of chronic inflammation that is stopping your progress. So if we do erratic workouts, we are just all pumped up and we want to really lose weight. And 5 days we did intense workout, and after that we took a break. Okay, and we did workout which was beyond the capacity. That increases inflammation. That increases stress hormones, which are not so good. So when you're looking at weight loss, which is sustainable, always choose quality over quantity. Okay, you do a 15-20 minute workout, that's fine, but do it regularly. Okay, तो जब भी हम वेट लॉस के लिए एक्सरसाइज करें तो हमेशा आपकी कैपेसिटी से थोड़ा कम करें पर रेगुलरली करें, वो ज्यादा रिजल्ट देगा. अच्छा बजाय कि आप बहुत ज्यादा वर्कआउट कुछ दिनों में कर ले, उससे हमारी बॉडी में उसका नेगेटिव असर पड़ता है. And then sleep. First, we were talking about how important it is, right? So why sleep is essential when we look at weight loss is because if you're not sleeping well, it causes again the release of cortisol, which is a fat building hormone. So we don't want that. Second thing that happens when we are not sleeping well is हमारा एक हार्मोन होता है बॉडी में लेप्टिन, जो हमें फुल रखता है, हमें सिग्नल देता है कि वी आर फुल नाउ. दैट गेट्स डिस्टर्ब्ड and then it increases our appetite. And another hormone which makes us hungry also increases if you're not sleeping. So all the factors basically are pushing us towards fat gain mode instead of fat burning mode if you're not sleeping well. So it is that essential. If you're doing everything right, if you followed everything here up till now, but you're sleeping every day, after 12, and of course, if you're sleeping late, you will not wake up fresh. That alone is a factor that could be stopping your progress. Okay. So how do you correct your sleep? Few tips. First is whenever you wake up in the morning, expose yourself to sunlight, because the moment you do that, your circadian rhythm gets set. तो सुबह का जो है आपका सनलाइट एक्सपोजर से आपका रात का कि आपकी बॉडी को सिग्नल मिल जाता है कि आफ्टर 12 hours I have to secrete melatonin so that I can sleep well. Okay. Second thing is avoid indulging in anything overstimulating in the evening hours. Okay. For example, screens, loud music, a lot of activity. Just wind down, you can read, journal, even play board games with families. That not only will help you wind down, but also you will sleep with a very happy way. This is good dopamine release. तो शाम के टाइम पे बहुत ज़्यादा एक्टिविटीज नहीं करिए, थोड़ा इन्वायरमेंट काम रखिए और रीड करिए, जर्नलिंग करिए, सब हेल्प करता है. एंड ऑल्सो बेड लिनन. Make sure that your bed linen, your bed sheets and bed covers are made of natural fiber. That also, it's proven, it also helps to sleep better. And it is otherwise, if you're using a lot of polyester, it disturbs your sleep. Okay, and mind, that can be like the last bit of the jigsaw puzzle when it comes to weight loss. Is mind. Again, if you're stressed, it releases cortisol, which triggers visceral fat. Okay. तो ये हमें मालूम है कि स्ट्रेस जो है वो अगेन कॉर्टिसोल रिलीज करता है, which likes to build fat instead of burn fat. So you're already on the path, you're meditating, you've done Sudarshan Kriya, so it is wonderful. That's great. So keep continuing your practices, and you will see over a period of time that at least this mind factor is taken care of. And even Ayurveda says that, if you're doing everything right, even the best food in the right quantity, best nourishment, doing your workouts, but if you're eating with an agitated state of mind, that food is going to get converted into ama. Okay? तो अगर आपका मन खराब है और अगर आप खाना खा रहे हैं, चाहे वो बेस्ट खाना है, बेस्ट ऑप्शन है आपके पेट पे, वो आमा बन जाएगा. इसके लिए अवॉइड कीजिए उस टाइम पे. You can take few deep breaths before you start a meal, every meal, so that immediately shifts your body to the rest and digest mode instead of the sympathetic mode. That also helps to digest your meals better. तो खाना खाने से पहले कुछ डीप ब्रेथ ले लीजिए, उससे आपका बॉडी रिलैक्स हो जाता है और आपका खाना और अच्छे से पचता है. एंड योगा, प्राणायाम, ब्रेथ वर्क, relaxing panchakarma is great. Something, I personally say that panchakarma is the future of medicine. That actually is true health insurance, or the best investment you can make to your health. If you go for like few weekly sessions, make it a point to get a Abhyanga or a Shivodhara done, or get some cleansing done every season. You are basically pushing yourself towards wellness instead of pushing yourself to age-related health concerns also. So Panchakarma is there, and then do things, more of those things that make your mind happy, your soul happy. And lastly, some patterns that may be blocking your progress. We'll just run through it. Sweet cold breakfast first, skipping meals and then overeating, single macro obsession, not only protein, like if you're obsessed about, taking low carbs, more fats also. Balanced meal is the best meal. Late night dining, high intensity workouts at night, eating while distracted, ignoring mental health. Yeah. So, we started with this thought that Ayurveda is never about deprivation. It was always about, nourishment and alignment. So, I hope that all of you from this session take away a few things that can help you align to the nature's rhythm and also to your own body better. So, our bodies are very intelligent. It just needs that patient listening. And once we get into, attuned to our own system, our body, mind, and soul, body responds in miraculous ways. Okay. So, that was all from my side. Thank you all so much for being here so patiently and your time. And we offer, just wanted to briefly tell you, we do offer an Ayurvedic personalized consultation where it is a one-on-one consultation. I just take a little bit of your case history and understand diet or sleep or lifestyle patterns that may be hindering towards your wellness journey. And I recommend, some treatments and some quick fixes that can help you. So you can definitely get in touch with our team and get a consultation done to move in the right direction. So it is originally 500 and we are currently running a discount for this session alone. So you can get in touch, you can click on the link or just connect with us. And the session is now open to question and answers.
Swati ji, there's a question asking, can we have fruit?
Can we
Can we
have
have
fruit?
fruits in the
Can we
morning?
have fruits in the morning?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question?
Can we have
Can we
fruits in
have
the morning?
fruits in the morning?
Fruits in the morning, it is good for people who are Pitta Prakriti, but otherwise it is ideally good to have fruits in between your meals, that is midday or say before 4 p.m. And also it is advised to take fruits as a complete meal and do not club it with any other food item. Best and most efficient way of reducing visceral fat. So there is not like a some magic pill that will work. Everything together basically helps to reduce fat, the visceral fat that you're talking about. So we work on your diet, we work on reducing cortisol, which actually is one of the main reasons that this visceral fat doesn't burn so easily. And lastly, of course, physical activity, structured workouts, steps, etc. All of these things combined is when you see the results.
Can you just
Can you
suggest
just
some
suggest some?
Sorry?
Exercises to be done.
Exercises to be done.
Exercises. So, first thing is you have to divide your physical activity through the day. So, it is very important to understand that physically active doesn't mean that you do 1 hour workout and then you are, sitting all through the day. Physically active means that you are, walking through the day. So, divide your steps. It is advised to take around 8 to 10K steps every day. So, divide these steps over a period of, your 12 hours or however. Especially after meals, it is very essential that you walk, take a few, say around 1,000 steps after every meal, which basically helps to regulate your blood sugar levels. And alongside, go for some structured workouts. You can offer strength training and with weights. It is very important that you work with weights because that helps to actually, your muscles to start absorbing all of that excess glucose from the blood, which actually helps to cover the, reduce the insulin resistance, which will eventually help you see a lot of changes in weight, especially when your weight is stuck. And also cardio does help. So it is basically, combining all of the best things that are available and curating something which works for you. And it is all very personalized when it comes to exercises also. We can also not ignore the importance of yoga because whenever we are seeing at chronic weight issues, there is a lot of involvement of cortisol, that is the stress hormone. And nothing works better on chronic cortisol levels than yoga and breath work, which you're already on. So that is a good thing. So, few were inquiring about our, consultations and what do we offer here in terms of diet. So, we take personalized diet consultations, uh, which are very personalized, curated to your health conditions. We take a detailed case history, curate plans specifically that work for you according to your condition as well as your lifestyle, and we help you through this journey. And not only weight loss, any condition that comes along with it. So in Ayurveda, we basically treat the root cause. We will be, focusing on if you have insulin resistance, diabetes, PMOS, or hypothyroidism, etc. So the we have currently two plans. That is the foundation plan where the consultations are given, and we have weekly check-ins with the doctors. And then there is another plan, the companion plan, where we have one-on-one interaction on daily basis on WhatsApp, which is like an intensive plan. And currently, we're also running a discount until 9 p.m. tonight. So you can make the best use of this available discount and get yourself enrolled for any of these programs. And it will definitely make a difference.
Is it okay to
Is it
use
okay to use
ready to cook
ready to
packets?
cook packets?
Uh, it's not advised to use ready to cook meals or pre-prep your meals and keep them in refrigerator for a very long time, of course, because Ayurveda's understanding of food is also that it should be fresh, it should have that prana, that life energy which goes and basically nourishes your body. But considering that the times that we live in, so we can work around like some golden middle path where we can balance and maybe do some meal preps that are more efficient and can help us cook fresh meals in a better way. So once you're on the plans, if there is a concern regarding how to cook fresh meals for yourself, we also give you guidelines to prep your meals in a better and a more efficient way so that you eat healthy, fresh, home cooked meals.
Is cornflakes
Is
good for
cornflakes
breakfast?
good for breakfast?
No, absolutely not. Corn, first of all, is a GMO grain. It is basically genetically modified, which causes a lot of inflammation in the body. And secondly, this corn, when it is highly processed to turn it into cornflakes, it is loaded with unnecessary additives which are not healthy for the body, and also it has a lot of sugar. It may be surprising, but it has a lot of extra sugar that is not required. So you will also feel if you're taking cornflakes for breakfast, you will get this, uncomfortable feeling. If you're continuously having it, you will feel that you're heavy or you get hungry very fast. It is because the sugar is crashing immediately after taking such a sugar carb rich meal for breakfast.
What is the difference
What
in
is
the
the difference
plan?
in the plan?
The difference in the plan, so in the first plan, uh, the plan remains the same, but availability of the doctor, which guides you through the diet plan, is weekly. So you take your plan and you follow it, and then we have weekly connects where you can discuss. And because the Ayurveda is very dynamic, we take in your weekly inputs and we change the plans and we add or omit something which if it is working or not working. So in the foundation plan, we have weekly connects with the doctor, whereas in the companion plan, you are in touch with the doctor on daily basis, especially through WhatsApp. So you share your meal pictures and we guide you. And if you have any questions, we can take it immediately and address it. So foundation plan is where you're looking for a diet plan to take it further if you have some health concerns. And companion plan is where you're looking for some specific results in terms of numbers, like for example, losing weight or getting your blood sugars to normal or correcting your HbA1c levels, etc. We in fact have a few clients already who have taken these program and have seen great results. Um, can we have some testimonials on, please? So we have kept the identity anonymous, but there is one patient who had a lot of gut health concerns, irrespective of taking medicines, etc., which were not helping. So a lot of acidity, bloating, etc. So with this diet plan, she basically understood what is working for her, what is not working for her. And again, as I said in the class also, it is not about, restricting. It is basically about aligning to what suits your body the most. So she really felt supported after this plan. Next one. Yeah, so this is a client where he was struggling to get his blood sugar levels to normal and was also had a higher HbA1c and wanted to see if diet and Ayurveda medicines and treatments can naturally reduce this. And we saw some great results. And for him, especially, the biggest win was that he was not, jumping to quick fixes and cravings and cheat meals, because once his blood sugar levels started to stabilize, his meals became more balanced, the cravings went away, and he was not craving for junk food anymore. And it naturally happened. There was no restriction, it was all about balancing the meals well. Yes, so this is the patient who was struggling with hypothyroidism in spite of taking medications and trying to, work around diet. It was not helping. So, but she did not want to switch to allopathy immediately, wanted to give Ayurveda a try. And we did manage to, but it was just in the initial stage. So we did manage to get her thyroid levels back to normal with our diet as well as medication. Um, yes, and it did help her. And other concerns were like brain fog and energy levels, which naturally happens because of thyroid imbalances. All of that started to improve a lot. So this is another patient who had been on diet consultation for many, many years because she was a diagnosed case of PMOS, but her weight was stuck for many years and very severe inflammation. Also has hypothyroidism. But within 2 months, she was not only able to shed her weight, her periods also started becoming better, and all her energy levels, etc., also started to improve quite a bit. And because her main issue was that she used to do a lot of stress eating and emotional eating, because again the meals were not balanced, all of those symptoms also started to reduce drastically for her. So the thing with these diet plans that we offer is that they are very holistic. We take into account the Ayurvedic wisdom of personalized dosha imbalance, the things that are going on, the state of your Agni, the state of your ama or toxin in the body. And because it is such a targeted, personalized approach, the results that we see are quite positive as well as sustainable. So we don't claim to, have some magic pill or have some magic results. It is all about getting into a better sustainable lifestyle which you can follow it all through your life without feeling that you're on a diet or you're on a restrictive diet or you're on a very strict schedule.
There's a question on
There's a
night
question
shift.
on night shift.
Like, how do we?
How do we?
Yes, definitely for night shift people, it does become quite challenging. But again, Ayurveda can help because we understand the imbalances that this kind of a lifestyle may get, and we support it through dietary changes as well as lifestyle changes. That is, in fact, more important here. We advise you to offer daily abhyangas. We advise you to take nourishing meals, something which balances vata. We also advise you to take some Ayurvedic treatments like, full body massages, potali massages, and even Shirodhara, which basically help to, rejuvenate your body and also build resilience in the body so that the effects of this disturbed schedule does not affect as much.
There's another
There's
question
another
asking
question asking
from Pitta to
from
Vata.
Pitta to Vata.
Sorry?
Is there a
Is
way
there
to
a way to practice
from Vata
from
Prakriti
Vata
to
Prakriti to?
No, our prakritis don't change. It is something that we are born with. It remains unchanged through the life. What can be changed is the current imbalance. So your prakriti is very different from what you're feeling, what the imbalance is currently. You may be a vata pitta prakriti person, but you may have a kapha imbalance in the body right now. So when we are making your diet plans and giving you consultations, we look into both the aspects. We do look into your prakriti, but we also focus on what your current imbalance is, and we combine all of these multiple factors, and that is how we use personalized plan for you. That is why it is also very, very patient specific, disease specific, condition specific.
can we eat grains for breakfast, dinner, and lunch?
Uh, See, it is always advised to take a lighter meal for breakfast because that is the time when Agni is waking up. So it is advised to take something which is light, and it is also advised to take some protein for breakfast because it doesn't crash your sugar levels that much. So you will not feel that tiredness already, or you will not if you have a balanced breakfast, which is loaded with fiber and loaded with nutrients. It doesn't crash your energy very soon, and you don't feel like munching straight after 1 hour of your breakfast. So things like green moong dal chila or yellow moong dal appe or yellow moong dal idli or ragi dosa. So when you're anyway, especially when you're opting for grains, it is advised to offer some sort of millets. Again, that is upon your state of your digestion. That is how you decide, and that is how you balance your breakfast.
Will these plans help us controlling our sugar levels?
Yes, definitely. We've seen that in a lot of patients. It does require some consistency, but we have seen that the blood sugar levels dropping with the plan. Dropping as in coming to a state that is expected, the levels that are in a normal range.
How to deal with water retention?
For water retention, again, you have to work around your dinner. Make sure that your dinners are not loaded with extra salt, um, uh, like adding a lot of salt to your salads, etc. Second thing is that if you are finding yourself eating a lot of packaged food, that is also one reason that causes water retention, because packaged food not only has a lot of sugar but also has a lot of hidden sodium, which is salt. So that is something that you need to work on. And the third thing is that you can add some simple drinks like coriander water, coriander jeera water, which also helps to flush out all the toxins from the body, which also helps with water retention.
What diet should a unalcoholic fatty liver person take?
An alcoholic fatty liver person should basically non-alcoholic. You mentioned, yes. For non-alcoholic, it is important that you, of course, cut down on your fat intake, but it is also important that you rejuvenate your liver cells to be able to metabolize your this fat better. So for that, you can add curry leaves to your diet, ginger and turmeric to your diet, and these some drinks that you can make. With you can make a drink with turmeric, black pepper, and ginger, and take it empty stomach. That really helps. Chewing few curry leaves in the morning, empty stomach, also really helps. Along with that, the diet has to be really balanced. So when it comes to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, it is very important that you take diet which is not very rich in calories. So we work on a lot of taking a lot of fiber-rich meals here.
What is the quantity of water should one intake in a day?
So, quantity of water again is very personalized. So, it depends on how thirsty you feel. But usually, when you have a poor digestion, or if you're a Kapha Prakriti person, you may not feel so thirsty. So, 2 liters is something that is minimum, but you can reduce or increase as per your thirst.
Can we have fruit for breakfast?
Uh, Not really. It is advised to take a warm, freshly cooked meal for breakfast. Because fruits for breakfast may increase kapha, but yes, if you are a Pitta Prakriti person, that is sometimes we may advise fruits. That is also very subjective. What kind of fruit and how to take it, etc.
How to control hyperacidity?
So for hyperacidity, reduce a lot of oily food in your diet, reduce chilies, and also make sure that you do not lie down or sit after your meals. Make sure that you're active after your meals. You can also include cooling spices in your meals, for example, coriander and cumin, fennel, green cardamom, clove. All of these spices also help to reduce the heat in the meals. And you can have CCFT, that is cumin, coriander, fennel, boil it in water and drink it 1 or 2 times a day. That also helps in acidity. How to know which Prakriti and any hints? So for Prakriti, the best analysis is getting in touch with with the Ayurveda physicians who who do Nadi prediction. That is, they check your pulse and they understand what Prakriti and what current imbalance that you're going through. So you can get in touch with your local centers, and we have doctors uh, all over the country to help you with this.
Horlicks, hello. I think we're done with questions.
Okay. So we have the links put up here. If you want any consultation with us, if you want to get on the plans, you're most welcome to avail the discount that is available till 9 p.m. tonight. So thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.